What if the person running from you is actually running from a part of themselves they see only in your eyes? It's a question that changes everything, isn't it? It takes the sting of personal rejection and transforms it into a profound, if painful, spiritual mystery. You've felt the void, the silence that screams after they've left, and in that emptiness, it's so easy to write a story of abandonment, to paint yourself as the unwanted one in a divine pairing that somehow went terribly wrong. But what if you've been reading the map upside down this whole time? The landscape of the twin flame journey is not one of pursuit and capture, but of resonance and reflection. The running you are so desperately trying to stop, the rejection that echoes in your bones, is not a verdict on your worth. It is instead the most chaotic and confusing form of spiritual agreement, a desperate dance where one partner's flight is an unconscious, terrified response to a light they are not yet ready to hold. Think of it not as a door slammed in your face, but as a sound so beautiful it becomes unbearable to an ear not yet attuned to its frequency. The runner isn't fleeing from you. They are recoiling from the symphony of their own soul, which your presence so perfectly conducts. They feel the vibration of a future self, a more integrated and powerful being, and that potential can feel more terrifying than the familiar comfort of their own limitations. It's the agony of a seed feeling the pressure of the tree it is destined to become, a glorious, cracking pressure that nonetheless feels like destruction. So while you stand in the open field, heart blazing like a beacon, they are in the quiet woods, trying to piece together the echoes of a song they can't get out of their head, a song that smells strangely of you. And the most haunting part, they carry the melody of your connection like a phantom limb, an ache for a home they convince themselves to flee. But to understand the secret language of that ache and how it is silently guiding them back to their own core is to unlock the next stage of your own evolution. Let's be real for a moment. We talk about the twin flame connection as this divine, blissful reunion, and it is for a moment. Then the mirrors come out, and not the kind you use for a quick confidence check before a date. I'm talking about those ancient silver-backed mirrors from a Gothic novel that reflect not your face, but your soul, showing you every crack, every forgotten dream, every unhealed wound you've expertly plastered over with a smile and a busy schedule. Now, imagine someone holding that mirror in front of you, 24/7, with a love so intense it illuminates the very dust in the corners you swore you'd never let anyone see. You'd run too. This is the core of what I call the egoic asphyxiation. It's a phrase that sounds clinical, I know, but stay with me. Think of your ego not as some villain to be vanquished, but as the dedicated, if slightly overzealous, security guard of your inner world. It's the part of you that learned to build walls after that first heartbreak, that crafted a witty personality to deflect deep questions, that decided "I'm fine" was the most powerful spell in the universe. This guard has been on duty for decades. It has a system. It knows the rules. Its entire purpose is to maintain the sanctity of you, the separate individual self that navigates this world. Then your twin flame arrives, And it's not that they criticize or demand, oh no, that the ego could handle. That would be a familiar battle. The true terror for the runner is that the twin flame's mere presence begins to dissolve the walls without lifting a finger. It's like the walls were made of salt, and their consciousness is the rain. This love operates on a frequency that bypasses all the security checkpoints. It doesn't knock on the door, it just materializes in the living room of your soul, looking around with a knowing, compassionate smile. And your poor ego, it goes into a full-scale panic. This isn't a negotiation, it's a hostile takeover. From its perspective, it is literally fighting for its life. The love feels less like an embrace and more like a spiritual solvent, threatening to erase the very boundaries that make you feel like you. Have you ever had a moment where you felt you were losing yourself in a relationship? Multiply that by 1,000, remove the human drama, and place it at the soul level. That's the runner's waking nightmare. They are not rejecting you. They are, in a desperate, primal act of self-preservation, scrambling away from what feels like an existential erasure. They are gasping for the air of their own separate identity. It's the ultimate spiritual contradiction, isn't it? The very thing we all crave, a love that sees and knows us completely, is the very thing that can trigger a primal terror of annihilation. The runner chooses the ache of separation over the terrifying prospect of ceasing to exist as the self they have always known. They choose the familiar prison of their own making over the terrifying freedom of the open sky. So what happens in the quiet moments when the running stops? The silence is deafening. They feel a hollowed out emptiness, a formless void where their old self used to be. It's a peculiar kind of grief, mourning for a self that is both the prisoner and the jailer. They feel exposed, raw, as if their entire psychological skeleton has been removed. It's no wonder they often jump into a new relationship or dive into work. Anything to build a new, temporary structure around that terrifying openness. But here's the secret the runner hasn't yet grasped, the beautiful truth that awaits them on the other side of this panic. The ego isn't meant to be killed. It's meant to be promoted. Its fierce, protective energy is vital. It just needs to be reassigned from guard duty to the diplomatic corps. Its job shifts from building walls to managing the sacred exchange between two sovereign souls. The love doesn't destroy the self. It reconstitutes it into something more resilient, more authentic, and infinitely more powerful. It's a messy, terrifying, and utterly necessary demolition. And you know what makes this entire chaotic process so divinely ironic? The very pain the runner is trying to escape by fleeing is the precise alchemical fire required to forge their new, true identity. But that's a story for another time. For now, just know this: the running is not a negation of the bond. It is its most painful and strangely sacred affirmation. And if you think that is a paradox, wait until you hear about the mysterious energetic cord that ensures the runner can never, ever truly escape. But that beautiful soul is a conversation for next time. So the runner runs. They make the choice. They create the distance. They slam the door on the overwhelming intensity of the connection. And in the initial rush of that escape, there's a kind of relief, a numbing of the nerves. They've outsmarted the chaos, or so they think. They've traded the terrifying depth of the ocean for the calm, predictable shores of a new relationship, a demanding career, a whirlwind of social distractions, anything that creates the satisfying noise to drown out the silent scream of the soul. But here is the mystery, the part of the equation that is so rarely spoken of in truthful, raw terms. The runner soon discovers a horrifying truth. They have only run geographically, circumstantially. They have not run energetically. They have not run spiritually. In fact, they have done the equivalent of trying to flee a root system by pruning a leaf. This is the realm of the energetic phantom limb. You've heard of the medical phenomenon, of course. A person loses an arm or a leg, yet they can still feel it itching, aching, even feeling pain in a space that is now just empty air. It's a ghost of the physical self, a persistent, undeniable memory written into the very fabric of the nervous system. Now, translate that from the physical to the soul level. The twin flame connection forges a limb of pure energy, a limb of shared experience and divine recognition. When the runner severs the physical and verbal contact, they are, in effect, amputating that limb. But the energetic nerve endings, they remain exposed, live wires sparking in the void. And this is where the real, silent torment begins. It's not just that they miss you. Oh no, that would be too simple, too clean. This is far more intimate, far more invasive. The runner begins to experience your emotional state as if it were their own, transmitted through this invisible, unbreakable cord. They are sitting in a movie theater, watching a comedy, and a wave of crushing, inexplicable grief washes over them so powerfully it steals their breath. They are in a business meeting, and a surge of white-hot anger flares in their chest for no reason they can logically pinpoint. They wake from a sound sleep at 3 a.m. with a panic so acute it feels like a heart attack, only to discover later, if they ever discover, that was the precise moment you, the chaser, were in your darkest night of the soul, weeping for the loss of them. Think about the profound, gut-wrenching confusion of this. Their conscious mind is screaming, "I made the right choice. I am free. I am moving on." Meanwhile, their entire energetic body is being flooded with the emotional fallout of the pain they caused. They are being forced to drink the very poison they thought they had spilled. They are haunted by a ghost whose name they refuse to speak, tormented by a sorrow they feel but cannot claim, burdened by a guilt that has no logical object in their new, safe life. It's a divine form of psychological torture, a curriculum of empathy so brutal it would break a lesser soul. They try to outrun this phantom presence. They jump into a new lover's arms, seeking a familiar warmth to melt the icy chill of your unseen presence. But in the quiet intimacy, in the moments of embrace, they feel the dissonance. It's like trying to listen to a sublime symphony while a radio in the next room blares static on the same frequency. The new person is pleasant, but they cannot mute the sacred, haunting melody of the twin flame bond. They are trying to cover a masterpiece with a poster. This beautiful soul is the universe's most uncompromising lesson in accountability. It ensures that no one gets to walk away from this connection unscathed or unlearned. The running is not an escape. it is merely taking the lessons on the road. The runner is in a classroom of one, forced to sit with the consequences of their actions, not as abstract ideas, but as visceral, felt experiences in their own body. They are learning what oneness truly means in the most uncomfortable way possible. By feeling your half of the pain, thereby understanding on a cellular level that there is no real separation. The hook they are on is not one of punishment, but of ultimate reconciliation, not necessarily with you, but with the parts of themselves they abandoned when they abandoned you. This phantom limb, this aching void, is the very compass that will eventually, inevitably, guide them home to themselves. And when that final surrender comes, it's not a defeat. It is the profound recognition that the only way to stop the phantom pain is to finally, truly, and completely acknowledge that the limb was real all along. And the most fascinating part? This entire agonizing process is secretly crafting something breathtaking within them. But to understand what is being forged in this sacred fire, we have to talk about the alchemy of surrender. So here we are, you and I, at the edge of the map. We've charted the stormy inner seas of the runner, navigated the haunted corridors of their resistance. We've given language to the silent scream, a shape to the ghost in their machine. And now you might be asking, perhaps with a tired heart, okay, I understand, but what now? What do I do with this? Let me offer you a perspective that might feel at first like a contradiction. The most powerful thing you can do is to release the entire narrative. I don't mean give up, I mean graduate. See, you've been holding the weight of a story that was only ever one half of a conversation. You've been the dedicated archivist of a pain that was meant to be a passing storm, not a permanent climate. It's time to close the book, not in defeat, but because you've finally internalized its wisdom. Think of it this way. A seed does not spend its days weeping for the sun it cannot see, nor does it rage against the dark soil that surrounds it. It simply does its work. It absorbs the nutrients available, it strengthens its core, and it trusts, with a faith that is both blind and absolute, that its own inherent design will guide it upward. Your twin flame journey, especially the painful separation, is that dark, fertile soil. It is not a prison, it is an incubation chamber. The runner's departure wasn't a sentence to loneliness. It was the granting of a sacred, if terribly difficult, solitude. A space for you to remember the sound of your own soul, without the dizzying echo of theirs. This is where we move from psychology to pure alchemy. The longing you feel, the ache that seems to hollow you out, that is not an emptiness. It is a crucible. It is the precise, heated space where the lead of your old attachments to outcome, to a specific fantasy of togetherness, to the need for external validation is being transformed into the gold of your sovereign self. The runner, in their flight, accidentally stoked the very fire that will ultimately purify you both. There's a divine humor in that, don't you think? Their greatest act of separation becomes the catalyst for your ultimate wholeness. Stop seeing the chaser and the runner as fixed roles, as a spiritual game of tag. See them instead as two dancers in a rehearsal where the music has suddenly stopped. One ran off stage in a panic, yes, but you remained, and in the silence, you have a choice. You can stand frozen in the spotlight, waiting for their return to give the performance meaning, or you can begin to dance for the sheer, breathtaking joy of movement itself. You can learn the steps to your own rhythm. And when you do that, my God, you become a spectacle of such grace and power that the entire universe leans in to watch. This path was never about securing a person. It was about encountering a mirror so profound it would force you to finally and completely fall in love with the one soul you were guaranteed to spend eternity with, your own. The union you seek is not a point on a timeline. It is a resonance. It is the harmonious frequency achieved when two complete, self-contained souls choose to play their individual melodies in a stunning, spontaneous duet. You cannot tune your instrument by desperately listening for theirs. You must find your own note, clear and pure and unwavering. So let the runner run. Their journey is their own curriculum, their own set of shadows to befriend. Your assignment is here, in this breath, in the quiet victory of a morning where you choose joy without condition. In the fierce compassion you show yourself when the old pain echoes. You're not waiting for a missing piece to make you whole. You're discovering that you were the entire mosaic all along. And the most beautiful, untold secret, this profound inner work you're doing, this quiet forging of your own golden consciousness, it doesn't go unnoticed in the invisible realms where true connection lives. In fact, the very energy you emit as a whole, vibrant, self-sourced being creates a gravitational pull that is utterly irresistible. But that, my love, is a mystery for another day.